Hello, I am Sophia. On this platform, we are on a mission of creating heaven on earth marriages by preventing and breaking the cycle of intimate partner violence through education and service delivery. Today, we have come to the very important part of this education, which is how to identify an abuser. If all what we have learned, if we are not able to identify who an abuser is and avoid marrying him, then we haven't done anything beneficial to ourselves. So take note, abuse is not about one single action, but a repeated pattern of control, disrespect, and harm. So if something happens once in your relationship, and your partner apologizes and doesn't repeat it again, that is not abuse. But when he keeps on repeating the same thing, okay, saying the same things to you, and comes back to apologize and go back, know that this is abuse. So take note of the consistency of his behavior. Then you are able to tell whether it is abusive or not. One of the things abusers do is to gain power and control over the victim, and they do this through controlling the victim's choices, her choice of friends, where where she goes. They also constantly check on the victim through text messages or phone calls. Somebody might say, is that not care? Yes, but when it becomes too much, and when the victim begins to feel very uncomfortable about his calls and messages, that should tell you it is not a healthy relationship. For instance, you miss his call and you are so scared and you begin to think, what am I going to tell him when he calls back? Because you can't even return the call. You are afraid to return the call because you don't know what you are going to tell him for him to to not insult you or shout on you. Okay. And then at times they will take decisions on behalf of the victim and not and without the victim's input. That simply is a way of controlling the victim. Another way is to manipulate the victim, and they do this by denying their actions or twisting the truth. And the aim is to confuse the victim. So they say things like, you are too sensitive, and you are imagining things, you are reading the wrong books, and all kinds of things, just to get you confused of their behavior. They also blame their behavior on the victim. They can slap you and say, you made me do it, as if the victim is the one put in charge of his emotions. We are all in charge, we are all supposed to be in charge of our own emotions. So when you blame your actions on another person, it is wrong. And then you, the victim, if you feel like you are walking on eggshells in your own home, you are scared, you can't even express yourself around him, that should tell you this is not healthy. Your nerves will certainly break down because you are not able to express yourself. You are not yourself in your own home around somebody you are supposed to call your husband. You are not yourself. You are not free. You can't say what you want to say. You can't do what you want to do. That is not healthy. How long can you go on? And that's how diseases can easily attack you, because your nerves will break down. God did not create us that way. So the moment you are trying to adjust to what is not natural to the human nature, by all means, your body will respond to it. And so they get all kinds of diseases. Another thing abusers do is to disrespect you through name calling, put downs, constant criticism, belittling. Okay, there's this man I know who used to call the sister-in-law and ask her, do you want me to call you a sheep or a goat? And you are asked to actually choose between being called a sheep or a goat. And that is belittling. It is total disrespect for you to ask anyone to choose between these two names. But that's what they do. And they think it's fun. They think they are joking. Meanwhile, it's actually killing the person. But they don't care about the victim's feelings anyway. All they care about is themselves. Okay? So they even think that they are more important than the victim. Abusers really feel very, very important. They think they are supposed to be respected. But as for the victim, you are nobody. In fact, they actually think that you are less of a human being. And I'll give an example. A woman and the husband, okay, were watching a TV program, and it was about women talking about their marriages. They have very good marriages. So whilst they were watching, the man said to the woman, if you think you are supposed to be treated this way, then think again. That is a husband to the wife. So it's like those women are special, or somehow, you know, they are more human than his wife. So the wife shouldn't think that she's supposed to be treated that way. And that's how abusers are. They just treat you like you are less of a human being. And that is why we have to rise up and say no to abuse, because it is very destructive to the victim and the children. And as we saw the other time, to all of us as a society. Another thing an abuser will always try to do is to isolate the victim by preventing her from seeing friends and family or building any support system. So some of them will even try to get the victim's family against her. This is to make sure that whatever they do to you, you have no one to talk to. Okay, you have no one to confine in. Even if you are in church, they won't allow you to join any group. When you close from church, you are going straight home. If they are not in town, you can't go to church because they are afraid that people might talk to you and then brainwash you. That is how they call it. Okay, and give you ideas. So they don't want that. They just want to isolate you so that whatever they do to you, no one will know. So be very careful. If you are going through this, don't allow the victim to isolate you. Be in touch with your family, with friends. You are an adult. You know who is good and who is bad. It's not at this time that your husband is not coming to tell you which of your friends is good, because they don't even know your friends. So don't forget, especially your family. If there's anything, let them know. They should be the first point of contact. Now, watch out. If your partner is nice to everyone else except you, the wife, know that is an abuser. They live double lives. Okay. So outside, everybody knows that this is a nice man. He's so kind. He's a good man. And you, the wife or the victim, you know very well that he is not to you, but he's really a nice person to others. And this is one of the reasons why the victims always find it difficult to even open up to people. Because whoever you are going to open up to, most of them already know your husband and they know that he is nice. They are super nice outside or to others. And so it becomes very difficult for the victim to even open up. So let's take these things into consideration. If a woman comes out to complain about what she's going through, don't conclude. by saying that she's trying to tarnish the image of the husband. No, no victim is ever interested in that. All what they are doing is crying out for help. What can I do? What did I do wrong? And how do I correct it? Because they are struggling. Okay, so let's see how we will help them than thinking that they rather want to tarnish somebody else's image. No. If the person is nice to them, why would they say he is not? Now, what is the important thing in all this is the victim's feelings. If you are in a relationship and you don't feel natural, you are not able to express yourself freely around that man, know that there's something wrong. It is not a healthy relationship. If your views and opinions are not respected, that is not a healthy relationship. And to the unmarried, this education is to you. My aim is that the next girl marrying shouldn't end up in an abusive relationship because I know the effects. Some of these effects can live with you for life. They are lifelong. And so that's why I said in my earlier videos, it is better to prevent it than responding. By then, the harm has been done. It's been done to the victim. The harm has been done to the children in that marriage and in future to the society as well. So, ladies, most of the time you are, even though we are the most victims, we are still the problem here because you will hear this, but then you have some excuses. I don't know where and how you got them by saying that you are growing old and you've already invested a lot in that relationship. My sister, whatever you think you have invested in, once you have assessed that relationship and it's an abusive relationship, it is better to end it. If not, you will still invest in that same relationship 3 years, 5 years, and you are going nowhere. It's waste of life. Do you want to go another 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, marking time? That is what it is. If you refuse to earn it, thinking that you have invested, you invest more wasted years into it again. So when you earn it, you get another man. Don't let anyone deceive you with statistics. It only shows our population. It doesn't mean that you cannot get a husband to marry. That is not the meaning. Okay, people are still marrying their own husbands. Why do you think that you cannot get your own husband to marry? Why? It can be 10 women to one man. You will still get your own husband to marry. It's only statistics. It doesn't mean that you cannot get your own husband to marry. Okay? And even it's better if you don't marry than marrying an abuser because you end up dying or going insane or living a miserable life. What is the use of it? Is it not better to even stay single and happy, okay, than getting into an abusive marriage? So don't mind the biological clock. Mind your life. Mind your mental health. Mind your children. Mind your loved ones, especially your parents who have invested a lot in you. Don't allow another man to destroy that and break their hearts because they've done nothing wrong for giving their daughter to him. So take care of yourself. Marriage is marriage is not the end of life. Okay? It is a choice people make. You can equally decide not to, and it's fine. Well, on this platform, we are on a mission of creating heaven on earth marriages.